Hello, in this video I'm going to go over how to add a buy box in for a buyer. So you may already have buyer contacts loaded in your buyer section. It doesn't matter if you're on the Go High Level plugin or on our Dispo Genius agency, it works the exact same way. I'm going to go add contact. I'm going to put a test contact here. I'm going to do me. Save. And then at the top here, you're going to see Genius Profile. Now, if you want to access this, coming from here, you just click here. You can also access Genius Profile in the conversations area. If you click on the buyer, it would show up right here. We're going to click on Genius Profile. As you can see, we have the criteria. Let's say Andy is buying in Tampa. He's also buying in Jacksonville. And he's also buying in Miami. He's also buying in He's also buying Orlando. By the way, we can take counties as well. So let's say, for example, Andy doesn't like this specific zip code in Jacksonville, 3332209 and 32208. He doesn't like buying properties there. We can restrict those two zip codes so that he doesn't get any deals there. And but he has a really favorite zip code in where is it in Miami. I should say this zip code. You can favorite that zip code. Strict criteria are essentially your ability to make a criteria strict, which means this cannot deviate, meaning only in these areas. If you select this on, this means that he will only get deals in Tampa, Jacksonville, Miami, Orlando, and he will still get deals here, but, well, it doesn't really mean anything, but he essentially only gets deals in this zip code, as well as these other locations. But we will only stay here. We will not even go out of city lines, since it's strict. Use this whenever the buyer specifically mentions that, hey, I only buy in these areas. If they're low lenient or they can go a little more broad, you can just disable this. Strategy type, he buys fix and flips. He buys single families. And he buys up to 350K. He doesn't have any bedroom bathroom preferences. Square footage range, he wants a minimum of 1,100. It's a preference. You can go a little lower, you can go a little higher, or you can go a little lower, it doesn't matter, but he wants to stick around the 1,100 range. Year built range, let's just set this to 1980. He's really strict on this, so we're going to set strict year build. He doesn't do any turnkeys, and he doesn't do any teardowns or down to stud rehabs. And he also doesn't do any fire damage stuff and anything on a sinkhole. And he avoids anything in 55 plus communities, and he avoids stuff in flood zones and properties that are built with wood frame. And that's his main criteria. Let's just save. Boom, there we go. So now I can actually, if I go to additional information, I can set additional preferences for Andy. Let's say Andy only wants to receive deals via SMS. I can set it here. I know Andy would probably get irritated if we did any follow-up on deals, so I'm going to turn off does not want to be followed up on deals. With market status preferences, Andy can deal with both on and off market, but if your buyer does not look at any MLS properties, then you can select off-market deals only. Offer defaults are essentially a default whenever an offer is created for a buyer. If you set at 7 days, then the default will be 7 days for this specific buyer. You can set the estimated annual deal volume. The more it is, essentially the higher will rank this buyer because they're more active. If Andy speaks Spanish, or primarily Spanish, we can set the buyer's language to Spanish, and all communication will go out in Spanish. Any manual text will not automatically translate, but any automated system messages will go out in Spanish. If Andy has any additional buyer remarks that we cannot save in the regular buy box, we can save them here. Save changes. And that's how you add a buyer criteria in Dispo Genius.